Yo, what is up guys, I'm back, and today I'm going to be showing y'all how to do elevation with nodes. So yeah, let's get into it. Now, the whole reason for me doing this is because, I don't know, for the people who have watched my track tutorials and have gotten bored with the same old flat track, like, if it really came down to it, a lot of people would most likely prefer a track with elevation than a track with no elevation because they're more fun to drive and all that fancy stuff. So I'm going to be teaching y'all how to make tracks or toges, whatever you want, with elevation. So yeah, it's pretty easy. Basically, there's a number of ways to do it, but what I use is Build V4 because there is a nudge tool, and basically what this is it's a tool that moves something a certain amount every single time. So if we select this, and hold on, let me make it like 3, 3, 3. Okay, so let's say we made something like this, and we made another one of them, and we made another one of them, and we made another one of them, and we made some more of them. So like this. And let's say we want to like make them all like fancy. Now we could do this like this. Now this is pretty easy to do, but if you were to drive up something like this, it would be really steep. So if we made it like, I don't know, point 0.2, like that's kind of reasonable. It would take a long time just to like nitpicky, or not nitpicky, but just slowly move everything up. I don't know, it's just not the most efficient way of doing things. So what I do is I select the entire track, and whenever I am done raising something, I deselect it. So let's say I do this, I can just select this, this, and I can just keep doing this all the way through the track. Now let's say I want to have a straight section. I can just stop doing nodes or just deselect what I want. And then whenever I do want to finally add elevation, I can just, let's see, I can, hold on. I can just continue where I left off. So take off the parts where I want it straight, and then just subtract. And then, yeah, like this. So yeah, this is how I make my tracks, or my elevated tracks, so smooth. Yeah, so it's really simple to do. There are other programs and stuff like that out there, but I like Build V4 even though it's a little bit older. But you don't have to, but I do. If you want to do it some other way, I recommend go figure that out yourself. But this is how I'm going to teach it, so yeah. Here, let me grab the node tool, and let me just make a triangle like this. Now, right here we have, what do you call it? Our slope, and as you can see, there are jagged edges in it, but we can fix that by raising the blocks to the outside, like here, a small amount. So let's just raise them by like 0.1, right? And we go up 1, like that, and it basically, let's see. Oh, oopsie. Gotta select it within the thing, like here. Select the move tool, and now let's do it. Okay, so if we move it up, you can see that it basically creates another vertice thing. So I don't know, it basically makes it a lot smoother this way. So if we were to remove these, ignore the fact that they are all jagged and stuff there because we use big blocks and all that, but you can see that there is a nice somewhat smooth curve. Now we will be using more nodes whenever I do this tutorial, but this is kind of just like a demonstration. So let's get rid of that, and let's get into this tutorial. So first off, what I'm going to do, I'm going to make this grass because I don't like the look of this. So we're just going to make that laurel green, my favorite. And then let's go into surfaces, and then we're going to make the top smooth. Alright, so now that we have this, we're going to need some nodes. So if you haven't watched my video on nodes, and you don't know what nodes are, I will link a video down below so that you can watch it and figure out how to use nodes, what the plugin is for it, and what they're for. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to make a node. If you remember, all you have to do in order to make a node is make a part, make it 1 by 1 by 1. So go down to the properties tab, go down to size 1 comma 1 comma 1, enter, and there's your little cubie. And then you basically make 2 of them like this, and then you select both of them, and then you make whatever color you want. You can make it white, red, or black, or anything like that. I'm gonna go with white, and then you make it neon to make it stand out like that. And there you have your nodes. And basically what you can use nodes for is you can lay out your track. And it's a good idea to add multiple nodes or a large amount of nodes, because if you do something like this and you have like something like that instead of like a gradual increase, it's gonna look not so good. So here, let me make this concrete, and I'll show you what I mean. So let's make this right here like that, and you can see that it's like an instant increase. It's like if you're driving a car like this and you go like I don't know, it's not good. It's like it's too strong of a increase, and I don't really know. It's too great of an increase. So what we can do to fix that is basically create multiple nodes and I don't know, make it all smooth, and yeah, a gradual increase. So here we have a couple nodes, and what we can do is we can go into build v4, and we can select the nodes that we want to add the elevation to. So I'm gonna make this a curve. So I'm gonna make okay. So whenever you're doing this, you want to do it exponentially or a small amount. If you're not going to do it exponentially, I would just keep it to a low. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to do something like 0.05, enter, and then we're just going to increase the Y, deselect the very last ones, and then do two taps or whatever, like 2 ups, and then we're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we're basically multiplying it every single time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And now that we have that, let's just make it 0.2. So yeah, now that we have our slight increase, we can just continue. So let's just do that. Deselect, 2 clicks, deselect. And you can continue on with this. But basically what this has done is it's created a nice gradual slope. So if we fill this in real quick, you can see that we have a nice gradual increase in our road. So I didn't do it perfectly, but you can hopefully get the understanding. There is a nice, slow, gradual increase, and you could continue this on for however long you want, but yeah, this is basically how you make slopes, not jagged and all that. You never really see hills and whatnot, like I don't really know what the word is to describe this, but you never really see hills that are in a way like sharp or something like that. Oh my god, what the hell did I do? Let me fix this real quick. Like that, and delete, and then we're good. Okay, so you never really see hills that are like sharp and pointy. They have a nice gradual increase. I might throw an image up on the screen or something like that. But yeah, you don't really want that. And whenever you're drifting, you want to go like, you want a nice slow increase whenever you're drifting. You don't want to go like drift flat and then instant elevation. You want to ease on into it because it's like a nicer feel, and it's not like, it feels more refined, I guess. That's the way I could put it. So anyway, enough demonstration, enough talk, and enough showing you what it is. I'm gonna teach you how to do it. So I basically did, kinda, but yeah, I'm basically gonna go in depth or whatnot. So let's just grab a base or a car that we can use for size. So I don't really know. Let's just grab this R32 from Oblide Noob. Shoutouts to Oblide, he's cool. Leaked decal. Yeah. If any Roblox admins are watching, do not ban my friend Oblide. He is cool. But yeah, whenever I'm doing like a toge or something, I would make it at least 3 cars wide. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe a little bit more. Maybe 2.5 cars wide. Because it's meant for 2 cars, and yeah, it's meant to be tight. But if you're drifting, your car takes up like more than a little bit less than half the road. No, it takes up the entire road. So basically what we do, if we want to drift, we basically make it 4 cars wide, like this. So yeah, if we do something like this, we will have plenty of room to drift. Now this does seem a little bit big, and it is, but yeah, you could probably go 3 cars wide. It really depends, but yeah. Just find how wide you want your road, and once you have that, you can continue. So we don't need this car anymore, so we're just going to delete it. Now that we have the width of our road, it's time to start laying out our tracks. Now, whenever you're doing this method that I'm showing you now, the first step is to lay the track out completely flat and then add elevation afterwards. So basically, I'm just going to create some simple track, and yeah, I'll speed this part up. Okay, so I basically just made this hairpin. Now, I'm not going to go and make an entire track because there isn't really a point in me doing that, just to show you how to do elevation. So here we have this track, or not track, but we have this hairpin. So here, let me throw down a car and then I'll show you what I mean. Okay, so I got this car. I really need to get a new car to use because this one is, I don't know, I've used it too much, but so yeah. So you're basically drifting down. You turn for the hairpin, like that. Then you continue, like that. I don't know, maybe you go back down the course. And as you can see, it is pretty tight. That is a result of making it pretty small. Now, it does look pretty big, but then again, it is kind of small, so I don't know. Make it however big you want, but I don't know. This is how big it's going to be for now. You know what, actually, let me make this a little bit bigger, so let's just do this. Just a tiny bit bigger. Yeah, that'll work fine. Okay. So once we have our track, we need to add the elevation now. We will add the track last. That is the last step. But yeah, right now we're going to add the elevation and make it unique, I guess, in a way. So I don't know. Why did I say unique? But yeah. Anyway, so what we're going to do is we're going to select our build v4, select the whole track or whatever track part you can do. Now, you can do like part of the track at once. Like do part of the track and then do the other part. So if we do just this part right here, and then finally get this elevation right, we can get the elevation of the rest of the track like this. Just select whatever piece you want to do next. Kind of roughly get it about right, and then you can continue. So kind of like that. So yeah, but since we have a small piece, we can just do all of it at once. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to keep the first little half flat, and then we're going to raise it up a bit, and then we're going to make the hairpin a little bit elevated, but not totally, and then we're going to do some elevation on the after the hairpin. So yeah, so we're going to deselect the first little bit of this, so I'd say about that. right there. And now we can start adding elevation. So we're going to do one click, deselect, 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 and make sure you're pressing the up every time. X does latitude, Y does longitude, and I don't know. Wait, no. I don't really know. But yeah. Yeah. X and Z go this and this way, and Y goes up and down. So, yeah, that's important. So make sure you use the Y, because if you use the Z, it'll go that way, and if you use the X, it'll go the other way. So, yeah. Make sure you're doing that. So this is like no elevation at all. I probably should do like 0.4 instead, but that's okay. Now, let's see, where did we leave off? So we have this right here. So we're gonna do up, deselect, up, deselect, up, deselect. Now it's probably a good idea to do minute changes if you're doing like drift track, but if you're doing like a toge, I don't know, go crazy. The reason for this is because if you're drifting and you make it too steep, your car might not be able to make it up the hill or the turn that you're driving on. So I don't know. That's just a thought. So we'll make this area a little flat, I guess, and then we'll raise it to 0.4, I guess. Then we'll go up, deselect. So we're basically doing 2 clicks each time, like that. Just keep on going like this. And yeah, so we pretty much finish. So there we have it. It's just a little bit of elevation, but yeah, it will make it does make the difference. So yeah. So let's just fill this in with our node tool. Pretty standard. I'm just going to speed this up. Alrighty, so here we have our little hairpin with some elevation. It's not a lot of elevation, but it's a little bit of elevation. So if we make all these nodes invisible like that, also let's turn off can collide and make them anchored like that. And we test it, you can see that if we drive up it, it will be pretty cool. So get on up here like that. Like that. So yeah, it's pretty good. I don't know. This is just an example of what you can do. So yeah, say you're driving down it, hit the hairpin, and you hopefully don't fall off. But yeah, hopefully you add some terrain in there. So yeah. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna teach you how to add terrain and crap too. So you know what? Let's make all these invisible now. Like that, and yeah, so basically gonna go over terrain a little bit. So let me just do this real quick and bring that out like that, and I'll do this real quick. So let's create a triangle there. Okay, so yeah, this is basically the part of the track, and let's imagine that we have all this other track over here, right? And yeah, you want to add some terrain for it. So for the insides of the tracks like this, all you have to do is get some grass and get some green. So we're just gonna grab, let's grab olivine. Let's just grab artichoke. And basically, you're just gonna connect them. So it doesn't really matter. Make sure you just go in a clockwise motion every single time. If you don't, it'll go wrong. Yeah, so yeah, it's pretty easy. If you just go somewhat clockwise direction. If you don't know what clockwise is, I don't really know what to tell you. Go back to kindergarten or something, or primary school, or whatever it is for you. So I'm just going to fill this in real quick. I'll just speed it up a bit. And we have this nice grass patch area. Now, we do got to do the outside, because if you only had like grass on the inside, that'd be kind of weird. So basically, all you have to do in order to do that is just extend some of these out. So not all of them, just a few of them. So, I don't know, maybe like that. It doesn't got to be perfect, because you kind of want it to be random, because it's like grass and terrain and all that. I don't know, so like maybe like every other. So just bring it out. You could use the move tool to do it, but I don't really use that whenever I'm doing this. So yeah, I don't know, it's up to you. So I'm just gonna extend these out like this. I don't know, just kind of guesstimating like this. So yeah. So basically what we're gonna do is we're just gonna extend these out, raise them up a tiny bit, and then yeah, just connect the outsides. Then yeah, abracadabra, we should have some terrain on the outside of our track and not just the inside, because if it was only on the inside, that'd be kind of lame and you would fall off. So yeah, now that we have this, what I like to do is I like to select all of the outside pieces like this using shift. I don't know, not with the build v4, or you can if you want, but yeah, once you have all of them selected like this, I just raise them up a tiny bit, like that much. That's it. That's all you need, just a tiny little bit. And yeah, now that we have that, basically just gonna connect the triangle. So it's gonna be the same, but since they're spread out a little bit more, it's gonna be a little bit awkward, but you should get the hang of it. The reason why it's better to put less in this situation is because it takes a lot less time. You're basically cutting your time in half, theoretically, maybe even in thirds, but yeah. It really doesn't matter also, because you're not going to be driving on the terrain, you're going to be driving on the track, so that's the part that matters. So yeah, that's why you can skimp out on the nodes for the terrain. You just got to make sure you do them right and try to keep them as square shaped as possible. And you can't do something like this because it'll run into the track. Make sure you keep that in mind. You have to do something like this. You have to do this, and then you have to do something like this, and then maybe something like this. So that way you don't go, like, you overlap the track and, yeah, make a mess. So, yeah, that's just a important thing. So, yeah, basically I'm just going to speed this part up, or whatever is left of it, and, yeah, I'll come back to the finished product. Alrighty, and there you go. Now we have terrain and all that stuff. So now we can make all this invisible. The nodes, you could have named them nodes for, like, I don't know, to make it easier on yourself, because you wouldn't have to, you know, go in here and find all the parts, because you may have other things in there also named part. But that is completely okay. Now that we have this, we need to make it all anchored. If it's not already, it should be. Just double check. Yes, it is. And now that's basically it. You have your terrain. You can see that it's like a track. You go up a little bit, and then, yeah, there's a clear difference. Now, you can add some other details, like if we go in here and use the fence tool, like this, and we basically just, you know, I don't know, I'm just kind of doing this on the fly, but yeah, just add like some fence around it, like this. I don't know, just make it look nicer. You know, just a little bit nicer, like that. And then we add some trees. Just open up the toolbox, marketplace, trees, or tree. The realistic animation tree is pretty good. There's a couple other trees that I like to use, but yeah, this is probably my favorite. The Toge mountain trees, those are pretty okay. But yeah, just all that comes now after you finish up the track is decoration. So yeah, now you have this little bit of decoration. You can do more or less or whatever you want. But yeah, now that we have all this decoration, we can go test it out and see what it looks like. Or I guess our somewhat final product. And yeah, that looks pretty cool. So imagine this as like a full track. Like this. And because this, the terrain is elevated a little bit, whenever you're drifting down it, it'll actually help you stay on the track so you can actually get closer to the corners. So it's kind of like a cheat, but not. So yeah, whenever you're going downhill, like this. Yeah, that's basically it. So yeah, looks pretty nice. I'm actually pretty proud of this. So yeah, that's basically a 34-minute tutorial, unedited, of how to make elevated tracks. So yeah, hope you enjoyed, and yeah, I'll get to editing this, and yeah, I'll see you guys next video. Peace.